What's up, guys? All right. We're going to go over the current conditions of the market, answer any questions you guys might have for TA. And I want to go over the 50K challenge as well and how we're going to be playing out our growth through 50K, depending on what balance you guys want to start with. But realistically, we're all going to be following the same risk management rules to help grow our account to 50K. And if you can follow these risk management these rules to a T, then you are going to be able to use the exact same risk management criteria to become a full-time trader if you guys are interested in that. Or you can just use this challenge as a way to help pay off some debt and grow some savings, whatever you want to do, completely up to you. But yeah. Now, the current market conditions right now, we're seeing some indecision at this previous level of resistance. Now, if we look at the level that we're currently at right now, we zoom out on the higher time frames, like the hourly or the 4-hour, if things want to render for us. We just met this downtrending level of resistance here, and we're kind of combating it right now. We just got slapped down back below it, and we had a lot of honestly, the entry for this long was down here. If we were to try to get the safest entry, I was looking for it here. I never entered myself because it was like super late. But I know some people were looking at my chart and they jumped in on the long after this broke, and yeah, it did really, really well. So congrats on those who jumped in on it. And then we lost momentum here. We had evolving momentum after we climbed up, honoring this momentum here. And after we lost the evolving momentum, we kind of collapsed right through the broad momentum and used it as resistance. And now we're kind of in an area of indecision. Like based on just looking at the structure here, you can kind of tell this would likely be a doji in the higher time frames. So I'll go to like the 4 or 6 and see what it's looking like. But yeah, we got a little bit of a doji effect. So we have some indecision, but normally indecision comes with the confirmation structure to tell us whether or not we're going to go to the upside in the lower time frames, or if we're going to have structure telling us that we're about to go down and get acceptance back below this local point of control. If we break that point of control, then we can fall right back down to these low ends of this range, all the way back down to like 67, about 67.7. We have tons of liquidity at just below this level here, and it's being guarded right now by a buy wall. So we might come down to this level again and see if the buy wall holds up. But if it doesn't, then we'll have our answer relatively quick after that. This is a key level here. But knowing that that buy wall is in our face, it's a little bit nerve-wracking to think about entering a short if this level breaks. $10. Don't forget to peck or smash the like button. Thanks, man. Thanks, Poyo. Appreciate the tip, man. Let's say initial balance is 200, and sometimes a stop loss will require you to do more leverage to keep that R&R the same. What are your opinion on this? I'm new to this. That's a really, really good question. So let's go to the chart here. So this is how you're going to be managing the $50,000 growth challenge. And it's funny that you use that balance because I was just recording a video using that exact setup. So if your initial balance is $200, you should be risking to lose $2 to try to gain 4. And I know that sounds boring, but honestly, that's how you should be trying to manage your risk. Now, there's going to be scenarios where you're going to be gaining more than $4, but your goal should be to try to gain at least $4 if you're risking to lose 2. Now, when you are setting up your stop loss, let's use any one of these previous trades that we've done as an example. Let's do this one here. If your stop loss suggestion, now this wasn't 0.17%. I remember it being around here to start. If your stop loss suggestion was like 0.65% of your loss, then you should be putting that into the calculator. Let's type in 0.65, and it's going to give you a lever suggestion. Now, based on your balance and the current stop loss percentage, it's telling you that your lever suggestion should be 1.54%. And I know, unfortunately, a lot of exchanges don't allow you to use decimals with your leverage suggestion. I do believe Bybit does, but most of them will skip, right? It'll go from It'll be rounded numbers, 1 to 2x leverage, 3x, 4x. There's not going to be like a 1.5x or 2.5x, unfortunately, with most exchanges. If you have an exchange that allows you to do just decimal increments, then that's even fucking better. Like, I would just try to stick to that exchange as long as their liquidity is good and the reserves are safe. But anyways, in a situation like this, what you could also do is cut the amount that you are going to be putting into the trade. So like reducing the margin in half. So rather than $200 going into the trade at 1.54x leverage, you can put in $100 and use 3x leverage to have the same amount of volume required to lose $2. So this is your primary objective, is to, it doesn't really matter what your leverage suggestion is, but your volume goal should be this, so that when your stop loss becomes hit, you will only lose $2. And you should try to keep it as close as you possibly can to that $2 until you reach your next milestone. And that's how we're going to be managing the challenge, is based on milestones. So when you get to $300, that's when you're going to be adjusting your risk from, $2 per loss to try to change that budget to $3 per loss. And as your account grows, you should be putting a portion of your profits aside to grow a lush fund. Like literally the rules with this, by the way, this 50 growth challenge is how I manage my personal trades. So I have a lush fund set aside of 10% of the value of my account. So if I have losses, like multiple losses in a row, which is possible, even if like an 80%, 90% win rate, you can have like 10 losses in a row. Over a 300 trade or 400 trade span, it's definitely possible. And you don't want to lose 10% of your account doing that. So you should have a lush fund to fall back on to withdraw from if you ever have, multiple losses in a row. And then you can rebuild that lush fund after the fact. That way you can be consistent with your account management. But anyways, based on your win rate, you can log your wins here. You have like 2 wins here, 1 loss here, whatever amount it is, it's going to show you your percentage win rate. And based on your percentage win rate, we have a formula here that will tell you on average based on your wins and being consistent with your losses in a $2 gain or a double gain, like a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. It's going to tell you how many trades it will likely take for you to reach your next level. And once you reach that milestone, then you obtain that new level, and then you can adjust your account balance here and your wins and losses here, and then it'll tell you how long it's going to take for you to reach the next level. And the first 9 levels is going to be based on $100 increments. And then when we get to $1,000, we're going to be doing it based on $500 intervals. And once you get to $10,000, we're going to do it based on $1,000 intervals. And then we're just going to keep doing that until we get to 50K. And once you get to around $10,000, you're really going to notice the compounding speed pick up and get you to honestly, the first, I'd say 27 levels are going to feel absolutely miserable. But once you get to $10,000, you're going to notice that the growth will scale and you'll really feel it after that. Now the link isn't down below this video yet because the way I go live, I use OBS and they don't have very many options for me to adjust things. But after this video is over, like when we're done the live, I'll update the description so you guys can have this in the description down below. But there is another video that I have on YouTube. Most of the videos I have the risk management calculator in there, and in that you're going to be able to, it's more than just the 50K challenge. It's also a bunch of other things, like your own little journal for your trades, resources, and a way of managing your debt, and all that stuff. But if you guys have any more questions about the 50K challenge before we get into any questions with the TA and stuff. What if the start with 50K, does that give you insta win status? Well, you could start with 50K. Yeah, you can definitely start with 50K, but you're likely going to be trying to gain, if you're trying to do the same percentage growth, you're going to be trying to gain at least $1 million. But yeah, you can start with any amount you want. You just got to go over here in the top left-hand side and click on make a copy, and then you have your own private version of this, and you can edit this any way you want so that it can fit with any account balance if it's above 50K. I was thinking after the 50K challenge, we can reinstate the challenge again for basically try to grow 50K to 100,000. And then honestly, that'll be insanely easy in comparison to this. If you can do this, if you can grow $100 to 50,000, you can grow 50,000 to $1 million. The effort will be a lot easier, honestly. Because percentage-wise, it's a lot smaller percentage growth. Do we have to compound or only growth? Well, your goal is to try to that's the intent with the challenge, is just to try to get you to $50,000, and you're going to be compounding your account consistently after each individual trade, so you can reach your next milestone and move on to the next level. If you have any emergency or anything like that comes up and it requires you to withdraw from the funds from the challenge, then obviously definitely do that. But the goal is to try to put funds into this that you could absolutely forget about, and then use those funds to grow and grow and grow it as a way of showing yourself that you can grow your account from, if you can grow your account from $100 to 50,000, you'll be able to do it again and again and again and again. A lot of beginners, they're going to be stuck between level 1 and level 3 for a long time until they've got their risk management down pat. And so long as you guys have a 40% win rate and you are following the risk management criteria for this strategy, you're going to be able to make it to $50,000. But it's going to be, obviously it's going to take longer for the people who have a lower percentage win rate. If you're only doing the trades that I give as a signal in the community, then you're basically going to be copying my win rate, and you're going to be able to grow the same pace that I would in the challenge. So, Kyle, do you ever use the market cipher indicator? I do not. I understand most of it, but I do not personally use it. I've done some back testing with it before, and I just found that how it impacted my win rate is it didn't really change. It didn't really improve much. It does give you a window into things that I don't normally monitor constantly. So I'm worried about if you're trying to find trading rules and you're using market cipher, just make sure you don't be too, don't pick too many things to follow in the indicator, because then you end up giving yourself analysis paralysis, and you'll never find an opportunity that meets all of your criteria. Sometimes it's worth it to sacrifice win rate for more opportunities. So I would check to see, first if the indicator is going to work well in confluence with your strategy. But I got nothing against market cipher. It's a great indicator. A lot of my community uses it. And it's definitely better than the RSI, but I use the RSI, and it's all I've ever needed. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But I might be adding it to my toolkit and removing the RSI in the future, just because everyone uses the indicator and they kind of want me to give them a better insight on how to use it themselves. How long do you expect the challenge to be going on for? The challenge could last 6 months. The challenge could last 8 months. I don't fully know. It depends on the market conditions. But if we end up catching a really, really big trade once in a while, it could be much shorter than 6 months. It really does depend on what the market gives us. But based on what's coming within the next 2 weeks and the positioning in the market, we should be having a very, very large move soon. And that could help skip a few levels with our trades. But it doesn't matter, man, because every single time we complete the challenge, we're just going to reset the button and we'll start over. So anyone who missed out or joins halfway through the challenge, they're going to be able to join in and help grow their account to 50K. And we'll just keep rinsing and repeating over and over again. Can you look at link when you can? Yeah, we can look at link. Is the group of the Discord or Telegram? It is Discord, because Discord allows you to, we can customize so many things. And we have a lot of ways to build in bots to help you guys. For example, we have the heat maps. You can use the heat maps as a tool. It's built right in. You don't have to pay for high blocks that normally would cost you $120 a month, but we have all the heat maps for most of the assets that people request. It's all built in here. A lot of really cool little tools inside of Discord that you couldn't do inside of like a Telegram. So in Telegram, it's hard to organize a group. But yeah, let's see. What is the point? At what point is it too much money to put into a trade? Well, that depends on your personal wealth and your personal risk tolerance. But for me, my cap is 100,000 for my short-term trading account. If I have a surplus past $100,000 at the end of the month, that's what I use to pay myself. That's what I use to buy dividend stocks. That's what I use to pay my bills, or invest in other altcoins or crypto, or invest more into Bitcoin, stuff like that. But $100,000 is my like limit. But everyone has a different limit. It depends on what your lifestyle is. Depends on what your bills are, your expenses are. Most people can live off $15,000 trading account. For me, I want to be able to expand my wealth in other areas, so I want to be able to allocate some of my profits into real estate and dividend stocks. So my limit is 100,000. Okay, so you guys want me to look at ICP and Link. And there's a question here. Last Bitcoin trade re-entry signal was not given. Is it possible to also add trades you also re-enter with? Normally I'll tell you guys the moment I enter a trade 9 times out of 10. But there are some times where I am just too tired, or like, and I won't give every single thing that I do as a signal. But I always try my best to post it whenever I can. But yeah, definitely. Let's go to Link, and we'll look at, we got Link, we got ICP, and we got someone asking for CRO and Algorand. Algorand. Okay. So we can take a look at Link first. I'm actually curious what Link is up to. Okay, it's approached local support. Try to get as many full buy connections as I can with the trend line. I'll mark this as green for a long bias. If we maintain the support, we're going to get squeezed into a descending triangle in this zone here. The current structure you want to wait for, which is not the one that you're likely going to enter off of. You're probably going to be entering much, much sooner, but this is the current structure that we've got. Is right here. We need to have this level broken in confluence with the break of this, but we're going to have a lot more time to range, and you're going to get a much, much lower level. We're likely going to double bottom here. If we do, then we should be watching 17.962 as your local resistance in confluence with this level right here. That's going to help influence some squeeze momentum. But yeah, Chainlink right now has got no setups. We're going to be preparing in a potential descending triangle, and see how it plays out here. But right now, yeah, we've got no setups that we could take just yet. The neckline's pretty steep though. Let's see what we got full body wise. We got tweezer right here. The measurable target for this double top. The bearish case scenario. 1620. Historical support at 1649. So that's like the worst case scenario based on the current structure that we got. If we lose this level, have it act as resistance, and use whatever confirmation structure we've got for the stop loss guard at that time, then yeah, we can go as low as 1620, but we have really, really strong support at 1650, and the local value area here too that can guard it as well. So we got to watch this. Nothing I can take action on right now. Nothing I would give advice on for an entry, at least. Now, let's see what we got. That's Chainlink. You guys have access to my link chart in the Discord. And someone wanted me to look at ICP. I don't know if we have an ICP chart, but we can load it up. No. We can load it up though. Internet computer. This is how I learned the hard way about VCs and initial liquidity, first liquidity. They did a really terrible job at supplying their first liquidity with ICP. And when VC saw that, it caused a huge crash. And that's why they had that price that started around like $400. Like this was a first liquidity mistake. And yeah, the price went all the way up to like 2,800 on this exchange. And it just kept on going down ever since. But now we are stabilizing above. This is the current value area that we're trading in since December. Got a really strong horizontal level support showing us that there are limit buy orders in same locations, and we're starting to get undercuts now. So it's going to result in a squeeze. And like, you know, based on the positioning of the market, I think it's more likely to break to the upside. But we have this level here at $15 that we have to break past and have it honored as support. We never honored it as support. We broke past it, and we never came down, have it act as a form of support. If it acts as a form of support, then we can expect to be moving out of this value area. Even if the support occurs prior, like even if we don't break this and get that, break a structure, change character here, I think we're very likely to keep going up, even if we just have this level here act as support. Now let's go to the downtrending resistance here. Let's mark this up. This is a daily level. And zoom in on the 15-minute. Oh, we already hit that target, did that. Go. Yeah, the current conditions, what we want to wait for. Like this is a really good level here. What we got to watch out for. The value area high. That's a form of support. Form of resistance. But if we managed to break this double bottom structure, that's showing us that we have a lot of liquidity waiting for us right above here. Then we can use this as potential front run for the break of the daily resistance. But you're going to have to babysit it during almost this entire period here. You be very careful. Set a lot of alarms. Like one at the value area high, one at the neckline when we had the breakout. And just use those alarms to help guide you through your trade. This is the current momentum. And based on the current momentum, it's telling us basically we could have a bearish event here. Yeah, any questions about ICP? But this is where I'll be waiting for a long opportunity and having alarms set at the value area high and then potentially front run the value area escape. Let's see. All right, cool. Now, Algorand was the next request. Now, I'm not a fan of trading Algorand, but we'll do the TA. So algo. Do we have an Algorand chart? We do. For those of you who don't know, I've probably said this a million times with the community, but if you're trading Algorand, make sure you are trading it on an exchange. If you're using spot, especially, then when they have the rebalancing protocol, it can actually remove your limit orders. So just watch out for that. It will remove your limit orders, your stop losses, everything on any exchanges that honor their protocol. It shouldn't do that for you for futures, but it'll definitely do that with spot. I learned that one the hard way too. I was trading on KuCoin one day, and my stop losses were removed, and my take profits were removed. My take profit hit, but like it never filled in the middle of the night because the rebalance happens around midnight each day, and then removes your stop losses and stuff. Just want to be cautious about with Algorand or any asset that has a rebalance protocol. Oh, it looks like it's building those harmony formations. We just had the double top here, came down, lost the support. And now it's getting squeezed against uptrending support and this local support level here. This tweezer reaction is really messy, but you can cut that out and use these levels here. And we're looking for high volume opportunity within this window. The current support level is here. You'd watch the most. And the high, the high that you want to watch is here. And that could change depending on how price action develops inside this remaining area here. And the local momentum is here. Normally when I see a squeeze like this against uptrending support, I will look for, I'll look at the momentum and use the momentum as a guide to tell me what is the change of character that's going to provide me the most amount of volume back behind my trades. And I want to make sure I have a good stop loss guard in place for the target. And I'm going to have to initially look at this downtrending resistance as my limitation for the trade. A lot of people will just assume that if you're entering down here, that it's going to be the early long that's going to allow you to front run this break. And technically right now it's this break closing above this. It will be really important for this to actually continue to go up. But from the squeeze, yeah, I would prefer if price action came down a little bit first, and then we can use like this level here as our entry. But right now, this is our entry level right here. If we get a 15-minute candle close above that, we can use the momentum from any structural guide. Right now, the only structural guide that we have is assumption based on inverse fractals. If you take this level and you just clone it and you put it on this side, you would have an inverse fractal of a inverse head and shoulders. And it would give us a measurable target of basically the top of this structure. And so you gotta be very, this is another babysitting trade. You won't be able to trade this with it would be a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio if this was the setup. We might get a lower level, but I think this is the lowest level we'll ever get for an entry is probably this. Yep, that's all we got. For the short, this is the break that we have to watch for. Loss of this uptrending support, a break at this level, 15-minute candle close below 18.19 basically, and then you'll be targeting, like the measurable target for the structure is like way down here, like around 1663, but I'll be watching 1719 as your critical area because there's a lot of demand here, and You might have a good enough risk to reward ratio, but this is the floor for me. Hard to listen to you both at the same time. You're at Alex Crypto's live. I feel kind of crappy doing it at the same time as him, but this was the only window that I got because I'm trying to like get as much done as I can for the courses. But I'm glad you're watching us both. That's pretty cool. Could check on Gala. Yeah, we can check on Gala too. Is there any more questions about Algorand, or you think this is good enough here? This is the momentum I would follow. I would prefer, trying to do a momentum-based trade, which I would normally try to do if it was like more of a center of the range, but we're getting squeezed right now, so gotta be a little more cautious. What is this? Oh, Alex Crypto. What's up, man? We weren't just talking about you at all. Okay, so let's go to the next request. So when we look at Gala, I think that was the next one, right? Not missing anybody? Oh, and Band and Caspa. Band, Caspa, Gala. All right, let's do Band first. Band. What's the last time we've done T on Band? I guess it was a while ago. Back to the daily. Oh, it was definitely a while ago. Yeah, we were still monitoring this area. And this downtrending resistance. Yeah, broke here, on our support. This is our key levels. You can see the accumulation happening with Band. But it's an odd spot considering the position we are in the market. So let me just get rid of this noise. Gotta redo this chart a bit. Pull the fixed range from this area that we're consolidating in. See our key levels. And let's get rid of that, because I think that's where the PO... No, it's not where the POC is. Let's leave that back on there. It's a high interest area. All right, and we got downtrending resistance here. We're really building a large macro structure. It's about 753 days. We had good momentum here, then it failed. Holy otters, man. Smash them likes, bro. Thanks, man. I'm guessing you're done your live stream. Or you're just doing this at the same time just to be a savage. You got the otter gang in here. What? Okay. All right. So Band, guys. Sorry, I got distracted there. So Band, we double bottomed here. We're trying to consolidate above the neckline. Let's see. This is the daily chart. If we zoom in on the 15-minute time frame, we can see what kind of structural behavior we've got. We got a bit of a rounded top, which is kind of a warning that we could reverse, further to the downside. But we still have this support level that we're going to try to hold. And we've been in consolidation on this structure for about 9 days. It's more positioned to prepare for the long. We got, and this is the level, downtrending resistance here. And unfortunately, the entry criteria for me to want to enter is way up here. Maybe it'll get lower. Because you could enter, like a lot of people will see this as an entry point, and you could. But with the momentum right here, I'd rather us fill this negative space first before thinking about this being a good change of character for the long. Because if this breaks, we could probably likely just see it hit around here and then come back down. But you could front run it and then just watch you'd have to look at the 5-minute time frame for the momentum that you'd follow for this and see if we hold up on this, but I don't know if this is gonna be enough. But this is a long opportunity right here. But if you look at the risk to reward based on the current structure, you're looking at 0.67%, 0.67 with your R&R, based on that barrier. Now, if we break through that barrier, yeah, your 1 to 2 is going to be at least around here. When we have this barrier in our face, we have this barrier. So it would probably be best to try to find an opportunity with, you know, a lot less barriers in your face. So you can look at other TA. So that's banned. There is 2 longs here. The best long opportunity is here, but if we could have more structure defined, that will give us a better setup. Like if we come up and we get the rejection off the value area low, I mean the downtrending resistance here, then we could anticipate for us to maybe bottom up here again and build a larger double bottom structure, and we can target the value area high, and while being mindful of the POC. But we're in the bottom of the value area, so you should be preparing for longs. So let's go to the next chart. We got someone requested IVL. We did a good trade on that recently, right? Luvium. What's the last? Yeah, I think it was Binance chart we were looking at. Okay, so it broke the falling wedge we were looking at here. And these were how far are we away from the target? Well, the measurable target's the top of the structure, but we should be watching. This is our point of exhaustion. Got a lot of local resistance here and supply. So I watch this level along the way up. This is a weaker level, but I'd watch it too. And the next level below us is, well, pretty much where we are. Might as well just move this trend line here. Yeah, so it's caught in consolidation. We just used the recent level of resistance as support. So that's a good sign. So we could have it continue up. We don't really have that good of momentum structure. This is what we could follow. But actually, we got 3 touch points. You can see the uptrend come in confluence with this trend line. So yeah, it's looking, I'd watch this trend line then along the way and see if this enforces high volume. So if this gets lost, it'll be like a large amount of volume down to the most recent level of support. If we honor it as a form of support and we break a recent high, then you can look at the most recent level of resistance and see if it's enough for us to escape the value area and move on to the next value area. But we have all these consolidative points where you can see, like, here, pull a fixed range there, you can pull a fixed range there, and see the value area lows, the value area highs, the POCs of these zones to anticipate what kind of behavior you can have when you reach each one of these levels. Yeah, that's pretty much it for IVL. So congrats on anyone who followed that. That was a pretty good trade. I didn't get to jump in on that. Okay, now let's try to go through this noise. We got live share spam. Yeah, I'm trying to go through the noise to find out the requests. We got IVL, we got banned. What was the other one? Caspa. Let's take a peek at Caspa for what we got. Nazil. Oh, you're one of the members. So let's take a peek at Caspa. I got like a 66% win rate on Caspa. Nothing fancy. We'll look at it on MEXC, I guess. I don't have a Caspa chart, do I? Load it up. I do. I do. Oh, gross. What happened? It mooned. Parabolic curve. That is like one of the cleanest parabolic curves I've ever seen. Yeah. Damn. Well, let's zoom out a bit because we got to microanalyze this a little bit. We've got, yeah, we were looking at the momentum here, failed the momentum, acted as a form of resistance, and then kept going down from there. We've got the downtrending level of resistance here that was broken. And the breakout confirmed as a form of inverse head and shoulders. The candle confirmation candle was right here, telling us that we're going to go up. We were a bit sluggish along the way up, but we, yeah, still played out really well. And now we've, honored this previous level of resistance and support as support again. And we pretty much hit the target to this falling channel here. Like we're already at the target. It's right about here. And zooming out in the lower time frames, 15-minute, we got a rounded top. We don't have very much structure, but we can assume that we're going to likely come down into this little pocket area where we can see that there is some demand. And then here is going to define a structure that's going to tell us whether or not we're going to continue to go down or if we're going to have a pennant structure that will likely give us a continuation. But normally the harder we pump like this, the harder we'll fall. So if we're double topping here, we're probably going to see it surpass its measurable target. That's a wild curvature structure though. Props to anyone who caught that. That's clean. A few traders would see this as like a few form of patterns. When you see a rounded bottom like this, you try to find its kind of think of it as its premium level, its premium zone, and it's going to be the area where you find the most levels of resistance as you possibly can. And we can see how we have this rounded bottom here. And there's a level right here. Right, we can see where we consistently acted as a form of resistance, previous support, all this previous support, resistance here. And so it's the high levels that we would want to watch. We had active resistance here, and then we got the break on this candle. In lower time frames, this probably looks better like a better confirmation. Yeah. So you could have entered off of this break here and use this as your swing low guard. And then there's more cautious traders. They would look at this high level here and wait for this to break before entering as well. but it would at least give you high volume right to this level. Even when you're looking at it for the first, like without this, you'd know it would be high volume at least to this level here. And it was like, yeah, we got a momentum candle above it, so it's pretty intense. Yeah, there's nothing I can give you with this other than the fact that you shouldn't be entering new longs. You should be focusing on preparing for potential shorts and give it more time to build structure, because there's no structure here telling us where we're going next other than this little box zone telling us that we're likely going to have this act as a form of support and build some form of structure here. They'll either give us a continuation or give us a double top warning or a head and shoulders warning. But yeah, look more, prep for the bears. Any other questions about Caspa? Sorry about there's not no opportunities there, but hopefully you caught along on that. That was pretty cool. Like rounded bottoms that clean is usually not that common. Okay. Avax. We can look at Avax, yeah. Load it up. What's Bitcoin doing? Still, oh, that's IVL. Yeah, we're pretty weak support here. If we lose that, then we'll fall down to here, 68.7, but it's a 1-to-1. Good confirmation on this double top. Okay. Avax, there we go. What is it doing? Okay, that was our last setup. And played it to the resistance here. Let's see what we got. Get rid of this. We'll put it here now. This. Expand the value area to about I guess about here. Actually, going to pull up the heat map for Avax. Let's go over to liquidity zones. And we'll pull up the 7-day chart. Okay, we got a lot of liquidity right above that double bottom neckline. There's more weighted liquidity to the upside, just below $38 than there is to the downside. That's showing us that the market maker's bias is bullish. They'll be trying to hunt for that liquidity. We got a lot of immediate liquidity right above this neckline. Yeah, but most of it does seem to be riding above these equal highs over here. Let's find that where that is on the charts. So just below 38. So right over. So basically right above this POC is where a large amount of liquidity is. Right above here, guys. So when we're doing our trades, we should be thinking like a market maker. You will have a measurable target from this double bottom potentially here, if this plays out as a double bottom. But I got no doubt right now that's going to play out that way, because we're getting acceptance back inside the value area, like right here. And we're doing that as a double bottom structure here. So it's fractalizing as a potential recovery structure. So this is the current momentum that we'd follow. And it could evolve if we get a confirmation off of this. We could get evolving momentum. But right now, yeah, I was preparing for a trade off of Avax if we get a 15-minute candle close above 36.20. Be mindful of 36.44 along the way up, but ultimately I think we should be targeting this liquidity at the POC at 67.36. And the measurable target, if this plays out as a double bottom, it should be coming in confluence with that. Yeah, like right with the POC. So this would be where I'd be preparing for take profits on this close. Right now, we don't have any structural guard other than this. So we need price action to develop a little bit first and see if we get a different swing low guard, and we can use that as our stop loss instead of way down here. Because if we use way down here, it's going to be a 1-to-1 for our long. Right? It's like a 1-to-1.16. But if we get a better structural guard, we can get a 1-to-2 out of this for sure. But I think out of all the trades that all the assets that we looked at so far that you guys requested me to take a peek at, Avax has the healthiest setup that we can look at. And we have a lot of area. This is a huge area of interest. So just be mindful that it could be a slow climb. If we maintain the same momentum to the target, then it's basically telling us, like, if we don't get evolving momentum, that it could take us up to over almost 2 days to hit the target if we maintain that same momentum. And when we get caught in an area of interest like this, we tend to range. So you'll be, but the good news is once we get above like 36.44, you'll be ranging in the profit for a while. When we zoom out to the daily, we can zoom out to the daily for Avax. Avax, it still hasn't hit its macro golden pocket, but it's much higher than most of them. It's because the structure was a little more unique with Avax. But anyways, when you're looking at the daily, we did lose this momentum. It's relatively steep momentum though, so that they don't tend to pump that hard that long. But yeah, if this fails, like we end up not confirming here and we actually lose the level below us, like the data that we're shown in the daily charts is basically telling us if we lose this structural POC here, we could fall down to 32.23. And a lot of people will be thinking head and shoulders, freak out, right? So I'll be watching the support level and see if there's any reversal structures, because like seeing a larger structure like this could scare out investors. And normally that occurs like right before a big pump. And this is the uptrend support I'd follow. But even like the shorter term time frame structure, this double bottom, this is giving us a measurable target to the neckline right here. And some people might even enter that. That's once you get a close above this level, you'll have the confirmation. Stop loss here, target, and basically at the neckline. So about 1-to-2, depending on how this candle closes. And we'll get that move to here, while being mindful of the local support here. That could flip and turn into local resistance. Yeah, high risk play here, but going into a lower risk play here. And this could actually be an early entry for a much bigger move. So you can. So I'm glad you had me look at Avax, because that looks pretty good. That is a bearish flag right If you're talking about what we're looking at in the daily for Avax, then it's not a bear flag, but it's definitely a bear structure. But structure needs to be confirmed first. And this has a ways to go to the downside for it to be confirmed. But the measurable move for the head and shoulders, if it plays out, is pretty massive. Like it's a really big drop. I'm not really thinking it's going to happen, but the measurable move is $15. We got a really strong demand zone here at 20. I am not worried about this going. If it did break to the downside, I would not be worried about going below like $20. But the overall market's position right now is bullish. So even though this is building a bearish structure and it hasn't confirmed yet, I think it's more likely to go up. And Bitcoin's positioning, it's looking like we only have about 2 weeks left in this range, guys. So when this range is over for Bitcoin, it's going to be wild. And even if it breaks to the downside or the upside, it's going to be wild. But I think overall, it's more like we know it's more likely to break to the upside. Question, is the 50K challenge monthly done with futures, or can we do it in spot trading too? You can do it at either or. Spot just means you won't be giving yourself access to leverage, but you also will be reducing your fees. Like most of the exchanges have lower fees with spot. You'll only be doing one-dimensional trades, so you'll be focusing on longs to grow your capital and selling to protect your capital with spot. And but yeah, you can definitely do spot. Just won't be able to use leverage. That's all. And you don't have to worry about funding rate fees for the longer term trades. The ones that last a few days or a few weeks. There are a few disadvantages using spot. Higher fees, take fees not being activated, no leverage. Well, take profits will not be activated if you're using like limit orders and you're using you're making sure that you are only being susceptible to market maker fees. Having the reduction of your fees for using the market makers selections and not forcing it out using market orders is great, but you're putting yourself in a queue with limit orders. Like look at the order books here, for example. And you got to make sure you're either undercutting that queue to make sure your orders are actually going to be filled and you're not, stuck in a trade. Like for example, here, there's, tons of Bitcoin ready to be bought at 68,510. You want to make sure you have your order prior to that wall because you're going to be put in a queue and all those orders will have to be filled first before yours is filled. In that case scenario, if you're like trying to get in on a buy, you could end up like not having your order filled, even if prices like hits it. Just be a little cautious with that. You guys recommend leverage? I normally most leverage I normally use is 4x, but there's nothing wrong with using leverage so long as you control your margin in a way where you are still consistent with your losses. Like if you are using, let's say you and I entered the same trade and I use 2x leverage and use 4x leverage and we're both using the same balance, you would put in 2 times less funds using 4x leverage than I would using 2x leverage to make sure you're giving the market the same amount of volume required for you at the same capital loss if your stop loss were to be hit. So leverage is mainly, it should be used as a tool to help control your margin, to reduce your margin so you can have more funds allocated to other trades. But some other people will use it for other reasons, just like to just go wild to try to get rich quick, but really that shoots yourself in the foot. It's very hard to be consistent. You can grow your account really, really quick, but you can also lose your entire account in a single trade if you do it wrong. So just be careful. Love your Discord calls. Very solid. Thanks, man. Zooming out daily. I think, we did that. Am I missing any assets you guys want me to take a peek at? Oh, Polkadot. So when we look at Polkadot, we can do that. I haven't looked at DOT in a while. I should have a dot chart. I do not. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. Load it up here. I used to trade dot all the time when I first started. There was a, let's see, where was it? Yeah, I started trading it here. It was back in 2020. And I remember selling it way too early. I think I sold it around like $17 or $16. I wish I had the knowledge that I have now and just put it into my younger self brain. Oh man. Like even if I don't know the future of how the candles played out, if I just had the same like technical analysis knowledge that I have now, I would have made a lot more on dot. But yeah, dot right now, it's kind of got the same kind of behavior as Avax, but that's likely because of the fact that it's also a network token and they absorb the same type of market shares in the crypto space. It does look like it's building exhaustion here. You can kind of see that this is turning into a bear flag. And the measurable target for this is pretty... Normally you grab the previous consolidation and you find the resistance and you take it, or I guess this would be the consolidation point here, and you just grab that trend line and you put it to the top of the resistance or the last retest before it breaks to the downside, and that's how you get your measurable target for a bear flag. But you would be watching this value area low as your primary target. Maybe, or at least a take profit area. You might be closing your full trade or half your trade, depending on how the market reacts to this area. Let's get the POC. Value area low. Let's zoom in. Probably get rid of, zoom in on daily and see if we can get a trade within this range. Resistance, or support, sorry. And then we got resistance here. We broke momentum here. Change of character we wanted to wait for was up here. And yeah, this is where you'd wait for the dot. Long entry after breaking the momentum. We never actually end up breaking that. Had it act as resistance. Tried to have it honored as support, lost it. Just big mess. There's a double bottom here that you could have traded off of and held this momentum until we hit that resistance again. Just trying to find a local setup for this. This is kind of got the same behavior as Bitcoin. We just had that recent pump and it's got a lot of indecision here. You can get drives. This is a pretty critical spot. Yeah, right now we're below the VWAP, so I'm thinking that, like, based on the momentum, the positioning of the market, that this is going to get pushed down to at least $7.04, and then this is going to be a huge deciding factor of whether or not we're going to get a reversal or not. And then if we lose this, then we're going to come all the way down. This level, yeah, if we lose this level, we're going to come pretty much right back down to $6.95. And maybe around here we'll get a strong reversal structure. But this is like, it's make it or break it moment, honestly. We got to break this level or we're going to come down. Not much we can do on dot right now. I should probably set an alarm for the Avax setup. So that's a pretty, shit. Well, that long ended up going so far, so good. Anyone jumped in on this? Or are we... I see clear. I guess with the spot trading doing the take profit loss positions, it will also be a disadvantage then compared to doing futures with stop loss. Well, with spots, if you're trying to be consistent with your losses, you're going to be nerfing your ability to grow because there can be less opportunities. Because the moment you see an opportunity with, let's say, let's just say there's like 2 trades. If you want to do 2 trades at once, you won't be able to do it consistently with spot. Because if you have 2 active trades, you might have to pull your margin. You might not have enough margin for your next trade to be consistent with your losses. You might have to use leverage so that your volume is properly aligned with your stop loss budget. I'll wait for the retest. Yeah, we might not get a retest on this because it's low volume. Or it's a lower time. Yeah, it's like a low volume move. But if we end up... yeah, if we get acceptance above this line, within this candle, we got about 6 minutes left, then we're probably going to continue to go up. But if this candle doesn't close above this red line, then yeah, we could get a retest. But this is like a little local value area. And once we get acceptance inside of it, it's going to be much, much easier for the price to get to the top side of the value area. Because we'll have an additional barrier for our entry. This becomes a guard for your stop loss. Thanks for the answers. It sounds like I should do it on futures. Yeah. It's a little bit of a learning curve for futures. But honestly, the only thing that you're adding to your toolkit that you might not be used to is the ability to do shorts when you're doing futures. And you don't have to do any short trades. If you are just learning and you only want to be a one-dimensional trader and only do longs, you can definitely do that. Just do some research on Nicholas Darvis. Like Nicholas Darvis, when he traded, he only traded horizontal resistance and support, and it had to be a bull flag, and it had to break to the upside. And he only did that trade setup over and over and over again, and he grew his account to 2 million. Just find what works for you. Even if you only want to ever trade double bottoms or only want to ever trade inverse head and shoulders or double tops, and you have another set of rules, obviously you don't want to just depend on structure. You should add another few rules in there too, but whatever your rules are, you just stick to them and they work for you, and you have like a win rate of above 50% and you know your risk management, you will be set. You'll be golden. What do you type in to get your VWAP indicator on your chart? I tried many, but can't find the one line. Okay, so the VWAP naturally isn't just one line. I have my settings set up a little bit differently. So this is the VWAP indicator that I use. It's just the normal one by TradingView themselves, and it's volume weighted average price. And when you put it on your chart, it's going to show a bunch of lines and stuff. But my settings is set up like this. So I don't have the bands multiplier turned on. I have them all turned off. And I have mine set up to hide if it's not on the 1 day or above, because it does not work as an indicator at the daily time frame or higher. And you can sync it to your time frame. So you just choose chart for your time frame, and then whatever chart you change to, whether it be the 5-minute, 15-minute, or the 30-minute, or the 6 hour, it doesn't matter. The line will be in the exact same spot because this indicator is based on the daily weighted average price. And so it's going to sync with the daily time frame. And yeah, no matter what time frame you look at, it's going to be the same moving average. And every time a daily candle closes, like it did here, it's going to reset really quickly, and it's going to adjust how the market's going to behave. So prepare for a daily candle to close, because if, wherever the price action is at the time, it's going to reset itself to that location, and it makes it easier for the market to shift in direction. So if we're in a downtrend, the VWAP is going to act as a form of resistance. But when the daily candle closes, it gives it a easier opportunity for it to act as a form of support as price action develops throughout that day, and it could shift the market to go the opposite direction. And you can see it over and over and over again in the charts. Like if here's another daily reset, the daily candle closed, price action came down. Like it came down with the price action and helped have it act as a form of support. Another reset here, maintained a support, and then went up further. And you can just see it in the charts whenever the daily candle closes, just based on the VWAP. Whenever you see those tight moves, those fast collapses, like from here to here, it's whenever our daily candle closes. Is that everything you need for the VWAP? Sorry if I went on a little rant there. I'll look into Nicholas Darvis. Did I spell it right? I don't think so. I think Darvis has an I in there, but you'll find him through that. He's relatively famous. It's like an old style trader. But that's just an example about how like you can just stick to the same set of rules over and over and over again, and you've back tested your performance with those rules. You're going to know exactly where you're going to be at 100 and 200 trades from now. But if your rules are really, really strict, you might only get 1 or 2 trades a year with those rules. So make sure you back test it to see what the frequency of those rules being met is. Like go back in time with replay mode. And say you only want to enter a short when there's bearish divergence at the top of a range, at the top of value area high, and after getting acceptance in the value area. There's a set of rules right there that could help you with a ton of shorts. But they might only get met like once or twice a week. So you might only get, 16 trades a year, a month. And if those 16 trades based on your win rate doesn't give you a proper expectation for gains that you need to pay for your bills, you might need to change your rules or add more funds into account balance that follows those rules, so you can meet your income requirements to pay for your expenses and stuff. Good evening from the Netherlands. Nice. What's up, man? Speaking of the shift, Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin is pumping. Let's take a peek. Did it break that? Oh, it is trying to break that level, yeah. And Avax was what we're looking at. Yeah. So Avax has gotten pretty close to its target. You got to watch where Bitcoin is relative when you're trading with an altcoin, especially with a network token like this that uses a lot of Bitcoin liquidity. See where Bitcoin's barriers are. How close are we to it? This is the most local barrier that we've got, is the macro previous value area high at 69.5. So this area, when we might expect some turbulence, and if we do, you're going to see a more harsh reaction to your altcoin trades. So as we get closer and closer to that level, you should be watching both those charts, like have them like side by side, like this, and see how price action is behaving alongside of Bitcoin's limitations, because it's going to drag its parent liquidity down with it. And we might see a reaction of resistance here. And that resistance is kind of what we want for this setup for the more longer term long, because we're going to give ourselves a nice swing low guard to protect our liquidity. Okay. Anything else that I'm missing in the requests here, guys? We just took a peek at Avax. Avax by far had the best setup. So thanks for bringing that up so we could audit it together. And all the other ones didn't really seem safe enough based on the barriers that we were looking at. Too many barriers. And the algo hasn't really confirmed anything. ICP, it's got some time for this setup, quite a bit of time. Whether it be the bear setup in this zone or, off the confirmation bounce. We still got to be really cautious about this area. And CAS, there wasn't even a trade there. We couldn't enter a trade on that. But congrats for anyone who did. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm anticipating for this to act as a form of support for us to build structure. And that structure is going to define whether or not we get a continuation, or if we're going to double top or head and shoulders and get out from here. It'll be a quick drop down to 15.1. But yeah, that's all we got. And let's pull this back out. But yeah, right here, there isn't a long I would take on Bitcoin, by the way. There's a barrier right in our face. Like, we could break through this and then reach this high again, but I do believe that we're more likely to range and reset here. And build basically a confirmation formation, like a structure that will help guide us into, I'm thinking more likely a long. But the structure that we're building here is definitely going to help guide us for potential. I'm hoping we break 71,570. If we break 71,570, this is the 4-hour, like a really key level of resistance that when broken, we're going to be hitting the all-time high in like a heartbeat. It's going to be a really quick move. And if we get that, we get past that all-time high and we have it act as a form of support, and we have the measurable target of 89,000. Yeah. Polo, please rename your account to Crypto Ondu. Yeah. CRO, we can take a look at CRO. What is the target for Avax? Oh yeah, sorry, we can take a peek at that. The local target for this double bottom structure when we had the confirmation here is basically just the top of this resistance here at 36.20. Now if we break 36.20, we have it on as a form of support, which I'm hoping occurs after we get a bit of a cool down. Then we'll have the target of 37.35. It is, in my opinion, it may be better if we lose this momentum for you to close your full trade at the time we lose this momentum and try to close, I would say, half at this target. If we lose momentum, I'd maybe close like all of it and then reset and compound those gains into the next trade. Mathematically, you make more money that way. And I understand that you're exposing yourself to risk again when you enter into a new trade, but ultimately, I do think doing it this way would be more profitable and safer, knowing that you're getting a continuation and not hoping for a continuation by holding your position too long. That hopium can get you burned and you're never taking profits. We can look at Ondu, TNSR, and what was the other request? Missing something. I feel like I had something. Okay, well, until I find it, we'll just do Ondu and TNSR. I swear I thought I saw someone else's. Oh, Arkham. ARKM. ARKM. Is that the same logo? I think it is. It is. Are these the same guys that create Arkham Intelligence? I thought I recognized that ticker logo there. I use Arkham Intelligence all the time to monitor what BlackRock and the other ETFs are doing. But yeah, let's take a look at this asset. I didn't know it was, I don't know if it's correlated or not, but if they are, that's pretty neat. I might do some more research on this token. Okay, it's actually older than I thought too. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so we're at $2.50 with this thing. We got, this is the momentum that would follow. This is the broad momentum. This is the evolving momentum here, and we are touching it now. So we're at a really critical moment for Arkham. Batman's coming. Let's go to 15 minutes. So this is a really critical moment. Yeah, definitely a really critical moment for her. How much time do we have left? If we maintain this value area for 3 days before we find out if it's going to have a really explosive move or not. Yeah, we're not going to be able to find an entry yet, but I do want to keep my eyes on this thing. Yeah, locally this is what we got for a long. Right here. Yeah. And you can target the value area high when this breaks, around $2.60. But you got to make sure you have a good swing guard to make sure that's still a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio when you target that level. We got a relatively broad range here, so the only chance really to have a good swing guard is if we get rejected off this area and retest the POC as a form of support. And then you might have a good enough risk to reward ratio to target that level. But the real big move is going to occur when we begin this range for another, was it 3 days? I think I saw. Yeah, but 3 days, 6 hours. When we retest that, we're going to get a large amount of volume come in for kind of like what we saw here, right? We double bottomed. We hit this as a form of support, and we just skyrocketed a bit there. It's going to give us the same kind of reaction, but it could be bearish, it could be bullish. It's relatively steep momentum, so it could be bearish. If the momentum gets too steep, it's harder for the market to maintain that momentum, and we could fail and fall down to the broad momentum. But that level is way down here right now to confirm that drop down to at least this neckline. And that drop could come in target there. That drop could come in confluence. Depending on how long it takes for us to hit this target, it could come in confluence with the meat of this momentum here. But again, the market as a whole is structured to be more bullish than bearish, so I'll be more prepared for the long. Any other questions about Arkham? I don't know if there's a burning or minting schedule you need to follow with this thing, so make sure you follow that. Find out if there's a burning or minting schedule because it will influence your trades. Arkham has the same chart as DEXE. Okay. Did we look at CRO? I thought we looked at CRO. We can look at it again if we haven't. We can take a peek at it on I say Bybit has the best liquidity, but CRO has got awkward fall here. Yeah, so on the daily, we lost momentum. So far, we act as a form of resistance here. It was confirmed as resistance here. We got that lower low. And we also lost the local support here, which I'm assuming was the value area low. We can take a peek just to find out for sure. Yeah. We lost value area low here. We got 2 levels of momentum. We get the broad momentum here. And when we, it's not very strong pullback, but we can use this as the evolving momentum. And since we're falling, if you're not already existing short, you're going to be watching this local value area along the way down as to give you guides for key levels along the way down for forms of support. So this is the previous value area high you'd watch. We got the POCs on the upper side. And then you can use structure as well as a guide. But it's looking based on this, like all that confluence of support, that we're going to be likely reversing very soon. So you'd have the confluence, like right now, because we have evolving momentum drawn out, and the previous value area indicators, you can draw like a triangle structure. This is what I like to do to help guide you into preparing for squeeze, like any squeezes. So we'll have a squeeze against the local support here soon, where you can anticipate the reversal to happen within this window, or within this entire window here when we get against the value area high, and the previous value area high as support. So that's what I'll be waiting for right now for CRO, is the reversal patterns, not the shorts, because the shorts have already been gone. You had an opportunity here, and you had a second opportunity about half an hour later right here. And your stop loss should still be here until we get a new swing high guard to move your stop loss there. Whoa, 170,000 subs plus 1. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. Via the different crypto YouTuber, are you in this Discord? Oh, okay, I got you. Gala. Yeah, we already took a peek at Gala, but we can take a quick peek again. Won't take too much time, and then I gotta do a couple more requests, and I gotta head out, guys. I gotta do an airdrop for the community and upload some lessons. All right, so Gala. Well, we have a Gala chart. What am I doing? Let's go back to Bitcoin. Switch here. Yeah, so we're getting close to that local resistance on Bitcoin. How's that affecting our Avax? Is still okay. The open happened lower, and we opened way down here. So we got some liquidity issues on this exchange, Binance. Let's look at Gala again really quick. So now we already looked at it. I don't want to bore anybody. Or did we look at, I'm not sure if we looked at Gala or not. But yeah, right now Gala, we broke above the local value area high. We tried to honor as support, but we failed to create the higher high. So we never got the confirmation. Instead, we double topped. And we're getting acceptance back inside the value area, and now we're getting the value area high act as form of resistance. Now this is a little bit nerve-wracking shorting near this area, but if we end up breaking this zone, this level here, so we can have that continuation, we could get acceptance back inside the structure and drop back down to as low as 4379, where all we had all this area of previous resistance and support. It's looking like a POC zone for that range. So let me just pull that really quick. Oh, there is. Yeah, POC is right there. So let's pull this a little closer. Let's update this a bit. Yeah, so there's the POC here. So I'm thinking if we do acceptance back inside the structure, the confluence of break this low and the break of this previous high we'll get acceptance back inside and we'll fall right back down to 0.4295. It has a very little amount of time to recover before that occurs. So this is the momentum I would watch. And then this is the level here you'd want to watch for the recovery. And if we recover and we can't get a new high, then we're going to consolidate and build likely a stronger continuation pattern and help us go to the upside. But yeah, that's if we don't get the new high. If we do get the new high after we break this level, then it's going to act as a strong confirmation to this downtrending resistance and giving it an opportunity to flip as a form of support. It does not confirm as a form of support until we get a new higher high. Let's see. So that's Gala. And we want to look at, we took a peek at CRO. And even with the June 12th Fed meeting, what's the Fed meeting about this time? June 12th must be pretty significant. We just had GDP. Okay. Yeah, for those of you who don't know this website, it's forexfactory.com. Here at /calendar, here you can track the Fed meetings to see the US dollar impacting events. If you're trading against the USD and you know that it's going to positively impact the DXY, then you know it's going to be a bearish day for Bitcoin. If it's going to be a negative impact towards the DXY, then you can anticipate a pump. Our closest significant day is the 7th. We have unemployment rate coming out, non-farm employment data, average earnings report. What's the 12th about? Pull that up. Core CPI. Okay. So yeah, we're going to find out how much inflationary damage we're got going on. They don't have an ATA yet for the forecast, but can't imagine it being that much different. But yet volume will tend to drop closer and closer as we get to June 12th. If the forecast doesn't seem like it's going to be priced in, the volume is going to drop. If they're not really certain about what's going to occur. If the volume doesn't tend to change, then it tends to get priced in beforehand. Kyle Heathsy, I do not know what that means, but I appreciate it. Okay. And should check out Kyle's Discord. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Cas. What's the check mark represent in your name there? I'm pretty newbie to YouTube. Okay, you guys are just speaking a different language. Look at other stuff. All right, Pepe. Who asked for Pepe? UFO. Okay, I thought maybe you're someone else. Cosmic keeps asking me to look at the frog tokens. We can look at the frog tokens. But I gotta go very shortly, guys. Pepe. Let's look at it on Bybit. Bybit has really good liquidity. So their charts are really accurate. Let's zoom out on the... Okay, yeah. We did some TA on it recently with community. We had the flag here. The value area high acts as a form of support. And we got that higher high here. This is like a really good textbook representation of when you guys can prepare for an escape of a value area for us to move to a new value area or to create a new one if we're in price discovery like Pepe is. And as we range, we're building volume in this area so we can use it again in the future with future analysis. So if we pump past this location, we can use this value area data to help guide us into identifying key levels of support. And we're consolidating closer and closer to this uptrending momentum, which came from there's the hourly. But it came from all the way down when it was worth like, I don't even feel like saying that number, but it's like 0.00003959. And we maintained that for over, well, since April. April 12th. Yeah. So similar to what we saw before, what was that asset we were looking at that was like about to retest momentum? But we're getting close to its momentum here. So it's going to get squeezed against it soon, and we're going to get a really high volume reaction off of it. And that is going to be in about a maximum 3 days as well. I don't remember what asset we were looking at before, but it was also 3 days too before it hit its momentum. So we got a lot of confluence with those two assets. And we got downtrending resistance here that we would watch. We got, it's relatively steep, but let's grab this one first. We have this level here we can watch. It's more reliable form of support. And we have the evolving here, which isn't very reliable. This is there we go. But yeah, so based on this information, we can see that we're more likely to get squeezed and break to the downside before hitting this momentum. Like this, it's telling us, like, based on the resistance that we got and the support that we got, we're going to get squeezed into this daily momentum here before having a massive move either to the upside or to the downside. It's our current key level, but we're probably going to get a lower one if this plays out how we're thinking it is going to play out. Let's get the triangle. So this is like the triangle of decision. It has, it's going to get squeezed into this area, and we're going to find out if we're going to break to the downside, watching this local support along the way down, but ultimately targeting the uptrending support here for the short. But yeah, the best opportunity would have been around here when we lost momentum. We got squeezed out here. So this was like another area where I would have drawn a triangle if we were trading at that time and prepare for the short. But now we got broad momentum to watch for Pepe here. I'm going to the 15-minute. Yeah, there's nothing for us to jump on, but you can see in the local 15-minute time frame how you could have jumped in on this trade. Yeah, for some people, a breakout trader would have entered here from the confluence of loss of support, confluence of hitting resistance, the double top structure, and this neckline being broken, change of character. So that would have been the calendar. Yeah, that would have been it here, and your stop loss would have been here. And yeah, fib traders probably would have been able to catch this pullback. Let me see what that looks like. So we're approaching the premium at low. Yeah, 0.382. Going down to the premium zone. So the golden pocket's in line with the uptrending momentum here. What else we got? Arkham 3 days too. Okay, yeah, Arkham's the one that I personally wanted to watch. But Pepe, honestly, if you're going to pick one between one or the other, between Pepe and the Arkham's scenario, just grab the one that has the least amount of barriers towards its target and then go from there. Or the lowest drawdown in your stop loss. Whatever has the lowest stop loss drawdown percentage-wise, you can take that one too. Because the lower the stop loss percentage, and if you're trying to be consistent with your losses, it means the more margin you can put in, and you can have better opportunities for capital growth. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, we got stuff down. So the Avax, yeah, it's coming back to retest the local resistance as a form of support, but we're still in the inside the windows of the momentum right now. But yeah, anything else you guys want me to look at? What is the stop loss on Avax? Oh, the stop loss. So the stop loss suggestion depends on what you capture. So the stop loss on this one was originally here, but now it could be moved to here at 35.59 because that's the invalidation point now. If price action closed below this, we're likely not going to continue to go up. We're likely to go down. However, if you are late to the party, there's another setup right here where if we get a 15-minute candle close above 36.20, we don't know what the stop loss suggestion is going to be yet, but based on the current structure, our stop loss suggestion is below the local resistance, or currently local support. That's the only idea that we have for our stop loss guard. But if price action continues to go up and we get a rejection here and we get a lower, a higher low here, we can just choose whatever higher low we get at that time. And then the target for that would be up here at the point of control for the structure. And the measurable target to this double bottom here, this ascending double bottom here. Yeah. Me personally, I didn't get a chance to jump in on that long during this, but yeah, we're calling for it and preparing for this. I would likely be jumping in on this one. There's a ton of liquidity here and a metric ton of liquidity right above here. A lot of liquidity here. So we were thinking when we were doing our quick audit over Avalanche that that's where the market makers are going to be headed, and we can undercut them so we can get out right before the POC. So we can compound our account. If no more requests from others, can you look at DEXE? Yeah, we can take a look at that. And then I gotta go. I'm sorry. DEXE, USDT. I don't know anything about this token. But let's take a peek. We'll look at it on Binance. $13. Low amount of small market cap, even with that price. I gotta take a peek at it over here really quick. $109. That's not bad. Market cap is 745 million. Let's pick some really bad exchanges to get listed on. Oh, it's got on okay. All right, so DEXE is currently trapped inside of previous consolidative range, a strong value area here. I'd pull the fixed range from this area here before we lost it right here. Pull, and now we take this off. I'm gonna watch this zone here. Just want to grab this previous value area high here, because we know we don't have very much volume between here and here. So if we lose this area of consolidation, then we can anticipate what kind of behavior we'll get when we drop. And we can see that we have a little bit of demand here. And yeah, so we had a little bit of demand here. So if we do drop, yeah, we're likely going to find support around this previous value area high. Well, we have this immediate demand right here. We know that there's going to be buyers here. And we're currently honoring the previous value area low as support. We hit the previous value area high as resistance. So we basically got full acceptance into this value area from the past. And we can see how it's manipulating the current price action, right? The POC is where most of the volume is going to reside, where we're going to range, and where most of the resistance and support is going to accumulate within that value area. And the value area high, yeah, acts as key resistance, value area low acts as key support. So we get full acceptance in this value area. The uptrending momentum I'd watch is here. The current key level to prepare for a short is unfortunately down here. This is the daily structure. And the resistance I'd watch is here. And we zoom in on the hourly. So we know our limitations now from the daily structure, daily behavior. You can refine this to the hourly if you want. We got a clear ascending triangle right here to the right, trying to confirm this broken resistance as support. But we constantly didn't get the higher high. Yeah. So we're stuck with a limit sell wall basically in our face, trying to break past that whale or whoever's there with the consistent limit sell wall at that same location over and over again. But it could just be, sellers getting out from the last time we were at these highs from back in when it first launched. You have no idea how many people got caught in that, right? Or how many people got in the long before this pump to the upside. But we can see that there's a consistent level here of resistance. If this breaks, then we're going to likely very quickly see it go to 1425 up here. I'm just looking left here to see if there's any local resistance as well, but we got a little bit of local resistance here. But ultimately we should be focusing on targeting up here. But yeah, we're basically we're squeezed out. It's going to have to make a move. Let's go back to the 15. Yeah, it's running out of room. So I would look at DXE's level. And we double topped here. We failed to create the confirmation. We failed to create the higher high. But just because we're lost the uptrending support, don't assume that we're going to come down. It could be grabbing liquidity that we know there's some liquidity resting right here, right before that pump. So liquidity, it's all grabbed now. It's already been taken. So it's super common to see a break of the opposite direction, kind of like a whipsaw, before the big move. So this is the level I would prepare for the long. Right here at 13.28 on the 15-minute time frame, a close above that. And the short, you want to have the continuation confirmation here. And this would confirm the uptrending level of support here as resistance. Just like how we failed to create the higher high here, we failed to create the lower low here. But that lower low would confirm once we get a 15-minute candle close here. But yeah, DXE, the DEXE token here has got an opportunity coming either way. The stop loss guard right now for the long is right here. We don't have any clear indication of what our stop loss guard is going to be yet for our short, but we know we can put it here if you're a conservative trader, or we can put it whatever our most recent swing high is. And you would target this low here at 1271. Just bought your membership. Do I need to link Discord? Oh, thanks for joining, first of all. But when you go to InvestShare's website, there is a little page on the top right that you can find. It says Discord on it. And yeah, under that Discord page, you basically is asking you for your login, your email that you use for your logging into InvestShare, and your Discord developer ID. But right here is where it's going to request for your information for that. Under More, you click on Discord, and it'll bring you to a page that will help walk you through that. And then you're all set. But yeah, anything else you guys want to go through before I have to head out? Do you think BTC will dip to 68, then go up to 77 for a complete 5-way pattern inside the symmetrical triangle? I like that question. Let's take a peek. So if we get the acceptance, my floor right now is based on the daily momentum here, right? So wherever this is, I consider this the floor for Bitcoin currently, or at least the floor before a really significant event. If we get acceptance back inside this structure and it just ends up being just a trend line adjustment, then I think, yeah, we can go as low as currently, I say 67.2 and 67,200. Where we are straight down from the current price is technically a possibility. Like 66,150 is a straight down price to the momentum, but we have time as a factor too, and how long is it going to take for us to get there? And like based on how long I think it's going to take for us to drop, if we do drop, I'm thinking 67.2 is the floor right now. Before we hit that daily momentum and get a really strong, like violent reaction to it. Very interesting hearing you speak about it. Cool. But yeah, 68K, very possible. We know that there's a bunch of liquidity being guarded right now at 68,520. There's a huge buy wall here, and they are guarding. I'm assuming they're market makers because they're guarding liquidity, and retail is not that great at guarding their own liquidity, let's be honest, and they don't work in packs. So we are going to have, there's liquidity down here. You can see where this wick is that could be captured, but we have to break through this buy wall first at 68,520. And if we know this is a market maker, then maybe they're going to try to build structure to manipulate us for the break to the upside to guard their liquidity. And that's based on the combined data that we got from the order books and the liquidity map right here. You can see all that. There's about $612 million below that wick. So I do think that if the market makers are trying to guard that, then hopefully they're going to be able to beat the bears. If not, yeah, we got more weighted liquidity to the downside than we do the upside. And the market makers are attracted to liquidity to use it for exit liquidity there. But yeah, really started to pile up around that wick. So watch this like a hawk. I would prefer for us to have a pullback first, though, if you're wondering what my bias is. But it's not up to us. It's up to the market, obviously. Well, that's what I'm watching for. But yeah, we're getting a little bit of a squeeze right now. And this level here, if we lose this level, we're going to come down to this level. If we lose this level, then we're going to come down to this level. But we have this buy wall here that we're aware of, guarding this liquidity. So we can get an idea of how we're going to bounce here based on that buy wall and visualize what kind of pattern we can build based off that bounce. But honestly, right now it's really messy. So I'm gonna give it more structure. Trying to share doesn't come without risk. Funny, I just joined, immediately got a friend request from Kyle. Wasn't me. I will accept friend requests, but I won't send them. So you can send me a friend request if you want to make sure you're talking to the real Kyle whenever you go on the Discord, but be very careful with the impersonators. There's like, they only can message you in the DMs. They can't message you in the actual server because we have a bot that attacks anyone who uses the same name as me. So if you're using like the same handle or trying to use a handle close to mine, you're going to get the boot. Have you used Bookmap, Kyle? Of course I've used Bookmap. Bookmaps is... I can open it up here for you guys if you guys don't know what Bookmap is, but I definitely gotta go after this one. I'm sorry. I'm saying bye for like 30 minutes, but see, you get this. It's hardware dependent, so you gotta have a decent device to use Bookmap on, because it's not something that you go on a browser for. It's something that you install, and they have it available for Mac and PC. And there's a free version, and then there's a paid version. The free one is, it really depends on what you think you will need. But I use CoinGlass most of the time for my order books, so I won't really need to use Bookmap. But Bookmap I love to have ready, just because, in my opinion, Bookmap is like one of the best tools to learn how the order books behave. If you're a beginner at trading, like, Bookmap is super easy. You love streaming, don't you? Yeah, I honestly, I prefer to be on a call with a group of people, like with you guys, because I do sometimes feel like I'm talking to the abyss. But like, seeing you guys talk in the chat makes me feel a little better. All right, so let's open this out. Passionate. Could not reach activation servers. Please check your... I know it's my VPN messing with it. But let's shut it down, reopen it. It'll try again. How's this doing? So we're losing momentum on Avax. The only opportunity he's got now to protect the capital for this trade is this little local support. And it's not that strong. And if we lose this, this tells us that we're likely going to come down to this support zone here. And it could turn in, rather than the inverse head and shoulders where we're, anticipating that it could behave that way, it could also behave like another ascending triangle right here. All right, it's loading up again. Yeah, I'm guessing it's my VPN messing with it. Okay. There we go. Now it's starting to load up. Okay, let's go. Let's just cancel this. We don't need to update this for this little video. But over here on the right, once this loads up a bit, for those of you who've never used Bookmaps before, it's very, very quick and easy to learn. So this is essentially the same thing as the order books. It's just got a much better visual representation of what's going on in the background. So here, you can see the order books on the right-hand side, and it's showing you how much Bitcoin is being ready to be sold or bought at these levels, right? Just like a regular order book would show you. Except the difference is where you see these blue to red colors. Blue means it's low impacting limit order. relative to the amount of volume on the exchange. So if you're looking at a low volume exchange, just because you see a giant buy or sell wall there, it doesn't mean it's going to be honored as a buy or sell wall the same way that you'd see it on the order books that we saw on CoinGlass, because CoinGlass is showing you levels as high as like 2,000, 3,000 Bitcoin ready to be bought at certain levels because it's compiling data from multiple order books. This is like a single order book for a single exchange, but you can see how this is more of an algorithmic market maker in play right now, because as price goes up and down, you can see that the limit orders are shifting. But if they're very, very consistent and sticks to the one location, then they're trying to create a strong level of horizontal resistance or support. These bubbles you are seeing right here, let me just zoom in a little bit. These bubbles are market orders. If it's a green bubble, it's telling you that there's more buy volume than sell volume. If it's a red bubble, then it's more sell volume than buy volume. But ultimately, that's all it's showing you is the market order volume from here. And that's where most order books don't have that as a tool. They don't usually show you what the market orders are doing. But yeah, you can see here we got a consistent sell wall at 69,270. So you can anticipate maybe some sell volume there. But again, this is not we don't have any consistent walls here. They're kind of shifting and evolving. Well, yeah, this is the order books from Bookmap. Does anyone have any questions about it? He's live after Kyle's stream. Oh, that's cool. I love gold, the look of it, the taste of it. Join the Discord link in the description. That's funny. But yeah, this is the Bookmaps. This is better for those who don't have a good understanding of non-intentional fills. And what non-intentional fills are is basically market makers trying to manipulate you to think that there's a strong area of support or resistance, like a consistent sell wall, for example, and then all of a sudden they remove it. Whereas other order books, they don't really show you that. They, when you go over to like something like this, you can see where the orders are or have. It's like I gotta refresh this. It's not active right now. But yeah, you can see where the order books are, but you can't really see the removals very well. All you can do is see that the depth chart has evolved and changed. So unless you have marked it on your chart where a level is, like we have right here for 68,510, like we got that marked on our chart right here. Unless you mark them, then you don't know that they're being moved. And if you see it's consistently in the same spot, maybe you can put a horizontal array on your chart, instead of like a horizontal line. An array will tell you where it began, so you can actually mark on your chart where the buy wall began, and as time progresses, you can see if the buy wall disappears or not. And the older the wall, the more reliable it is. But Bookmaps actually shows you the age, which is pretty cool. But you can do all that stuff on a regular order books if you want. Because this is gonna give you more dependable data right here. That's stronger. Like this is like 2,500 Bitcoin ready to be bought. Whereas the Bookmap chart, it's showing you levels with only like 40 Bitcoin. So what do you think is going to be a stronger level, right? But you can see that there's like some confluence here at 69,500. There's like a sell wall here, but it is rotating. Like it has been rotating and changing. So it's following the price action like a Bollinger Band almost. So you can tell that that's an algorithmic market maker. Trying to manipulate the range. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I do gotta head out. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me in the Discord. I will update this video to include the 50K challenge journal. So you guys can, for anyone who missed what we were talking about with the 50K challenge, you can go back through the stream It's roughly near the beginning of the stream where we talked about it pretty vividly and how we're going to prepare for growing our accounts to 50K. This buy wall alpha seems pretty cool. Great stream. Thanks, man. Well, yeah. All right, guys. You have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone who's subscribed so far, too. We've reached 3,000 subscribers. Our next goal is 5,000 subscribers. So get your long positions in place, your stop losses in place, and we'll hit our target around 5,000 hopefully within this month. Be pretty cool. All right, guys. You have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon.